Hey guys, I wanted to come and do a video talking about the emotional, mental challenges of raising a special needs child and a typical child. And with having a special needs child, and I can only speak from our situation, of course. Our boys are 8 years and 8 months or a little over 8 months apart. So for about 8 years, we just had Biggs. So all of our attention, our energy, our focus, our devotion was him. And then in 2011, I find out, well, not 2011, 2010, I find out, I'm pregnant with the little one. And when I found out I was pregnant, we immediately told Biggs that he was going to be a big brother. And I find it's important that when certain life changes are going to happen, whether it be with a special needs child or whether it be within the family dynamics, it's important to keep them involved and to let them know what's going on. And that's what we did with Biggs. We told him, you're going to be a big brother, and we explained to him the changes that were going to happen. And we tried to keep him involved in a part of my pregnancy as much as possible. Now, no, he couldn't go to any of my appointments with me, like ultrasounds and stuff. But when I would get ultrasounds, I would come back home and show him and tell him what's going on and stuff like that. So it was very important to keep him involved and to let him know that he's still loved, he's still valued. We still appreciate him, and to let him know that because he was our first child and we learned so much with him, that having him first is preparing us for his little brother. We had to tell him that the baby would be crying and that, mommy would have to take care of him more than daddy, because I nursed little when he was born. And so just letting him know that mommy wasn't going to be able to do certain things with him that I normally used to be able to do. And as the pregnancy progressed, he started to realize and notice that mommy couldn't do certain things with him anymore like I used to. And he didn't like that. He would gravitate. I noticed that he gravitated more towards his dad. And that was a little emotional as a mom, because it was us for 8 years, and he was a mama's boy and a daddy's boy, but he was a mama's boy. And then for him I could see that it was clicking. The dots were connecting that, Mom, there's a change going on with her. I'm sleeping more. My energy was low some days. We're talking about a baby. We're preparing. So he's hearing these things. And to see that change in him was very interesting. And we just reassured him that we love him, and, that he's going to be a good big brother and stuff like that. And that, yes, the family dynamics are going to change. And then having little, and he's typical and doing things that a baby's supposed to be doing and all of that. I don't think as a baby he really noticed too much the difference with his brother. As he got older, of course, we could tell that he started seeing a difference. That he noticed that, he doesn't talk like mommy and daddy. And he would say that to us as he was able to start vocalizing. Little would say, bruh, doesn't he would say hi to him. And he'd say, hi, bruh. And Biggs sometimes just wouldn't make a noise. And we noticed that Little would get upset. And he said, he not speaking back. He not speaking back. And we tried to tell him, he was young. He was like probably 2 when he started doing that, or 1.5 when he started, noticing that. 1.5, 2 when he started noticing that. And, we tried to tell him to the best of our ability to a toddler, brother doesn't talk like us. And, we would let him know he can hear you, because he would just say, hi, brother, hi, over and over and over. And we had to let him know he can hear you, but he just doesn't talk like us. He doesn't speak like us, but he'll make noises when he's happy and stuff like that. So we had to start teaching him at an early age his big brother's language, which is body language and the sounds that he makes. And so my husband and I, we talked about having these discussions with Little here and there, like when do we talk to him about certain things concerning his brother. And at this point, we just go with the flow. If he brings up something, we'll answer it. He knows that his brother's disabled. He realizes it when he sees other people or other kids in wheelchairs. They in a wheelchair like brother. And I'm like, yes. Or a feeding tube. They have a feeding tube like my big brother. And I'm glad that he can see the differences. I'm glad that not just the differences, but that he can see that there's other people similar to his brother. But it can also be challenging, because I know one day we're going to get to the point to where Little is going to be old enough and he's going to ask, well, why did this happen to my brother? Or he may see other people that have a disability that's not as severe as his brothers and ask, well, why are they in a wheelchair but they can talk and they can move their arms, and why can't brother? And so those are when those type of situations and scenarios make parenting challenging. Because we still want him to know, even though your brother can't do some of the stuff that you can do, he still is full of life, love. He's happy. We always let him know brother's happy. He loves when his little brother is around him. But, and I don't want him to feel pity for his brother and sadness. I mean, I know he's probably going to feel sad, but I don't want him to pity his brother. And so those are things that we just have to learn along the way. And other challenges come when you feel like you're giving one child more attention than the other. And sometimes I feel like that with Little. I feel like he gets all this attention because with homeschooling him, I have to make sure he grasps the concepts. I have to make sure that in his own way, he can verbalize or show me that he understands the concepts that I'm teaching him in the process of whatever we're doing. Manners, character, values. I have to make sure he knows those things. And that takes time. Reading, writing, all that takes time. And sometimes you just feel like your other child that has the special needs may not be getting enough attention. But sometimes, honestly, it equals out because we make sure that we try to give Biggs his attention. And over from last year, even still now, it's been different with him because he's been sleeping a lot. Because I mentioned before, he's going through puberty. So there's days where he's asleep and then he's up at night. And I know that I try my best, and my husband, he does a good job with it because he's normally up at night. But if Biggs has slept all day and now it's nighttime and he's up, I make sure I try to spend some time with him. Whether it be a half hour, whether it be an hour, 2 hours, I try to make sure I spend some time with him. And sometimes it's not even about me talking to him. You know, he just appreciates mommy being in the room with him and acknowledging him. Whether that be by a subtle stroke on the arm, on the face, you know, on his leg. He appreciates that, and I see that he appreciates that. But like I said, we just have our moments where it feels like one is getting more attention than the other. But I think in reality, it honestly balances out depending on the day and depending on the situation. But other challenges is that we face when you have a child with special needs, and a child that's typical is the child that's typical may get out more than your special needs child. And that is definitely true in our case. Little gets out so much more than his brother. And sometimes that's hard for me, because I remember when I could just pick up I remember I could just pick up Biggs, put him in his car seat, and we could go. I didn't need his dad's help. We didn't all have to go together. But that's not the case anymore. So those moments are hard, where I feel like I'm out with Little and we're having fun and we're enjoying it, and I'll think to myself, I wish Biggs was here. But my husband does a good job of trying to make sure that when we can, we all get out together. Another challenging thing is for Little is when he's out and he meets other kids, he is normally the only child within that group that has a special needs sibling. And he'll say, you know, I have a big brother at home and he's in a wheelchair, or my big brother doesn't walk. And some of these kids, they're like, oh, okay, you know, they just keep it moving, because that's not something they're accustomed to. Even with us homeschooling, Little, he's a part of a homeschooling group where his big brother isn't. And he gets to go out and play and do the activities and stuff like that. But his big brother doesn't. And those, like I said, those are the moments where it can hurt, because it's like you want them to be able to enjoy these moments together, some of these moments together. Other challenges that you may face is if your child with special needs will need surgery. And that will be the case for us in the near future with Biggs. And like I mentioned before, there's an 8-year gap between them. So early on in Biggs' life, when he was having his complications and the surgeries that he had in the past, we didn't have to worry and be concerned about caring for another child. Our focus and our attention was on Biggs. Well, now this time around, we have to be concerned about Little's emotional state as we deal with upcoming issues concerning his brother. And also, we have to be concerned about Biggs, because he's a lot older now from when he had surgeries in the past. And seeing and trying to help him the best that we can emotionally deal with what's going on and the changes that's going on with him. And of course, we really can't know how Little is going to react until we're in that situation. All we can do is prepare him to the best of our ability of what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, how we need to be helpful to Big Brother, and that, you know, during this season of his life, when it happens, he's going to need a little bit more attention. And helping him through that, helping him to be self-sufficient a little bit to where he won't need much of mommy and daddy's attention, but also to let him be a part of what's going on with his big brother and not to just shun him away, because these are also valuable life lessons that he needs to learn. So that's another part of having a special needs child and a typical child that could be challenging. So those were a couple of things that I wanted to talk about and mention. Real quick, I want to talk about something else, and that is just about being a special needs parent. And it's interesting because sometimes you talk to people or you hear things pertaining to special needs parents, and some people think we are an authority on medical stuff. And it's like, no, that's not true. I'm not an authority on medical, not just medical stuff, but that you're more aware. I mean, to a certain degree, that is true. We're more aware. Some of us are more aware of certain syndromes and disabilities, but some people think you are an authority on it. Like you just know about all these different disabilities and syndromes, and no, that is not true. I know people whose kids have something that is like, I couldn't even tell you the name of it. It's like, because it's so complex. But no, I am not an authority on everything disabled. Some people think that we know all the answers in the ins and out of the medical system and how to obtain certain things. And it's like, no. It's a lot of work to try to find certain things we need. Research, reading, talking to people multiple times, talking to many different people multiple times just to get some of the basic things that we need for our kids. And it takes a lot of energy and effort. And some people think that, and I'm trying to see how I can phrase this term, but the only way I can come out with it is just like, you're just super parents. And that is not true. I mean, we have our days a lot where we're tired, we're worn out. But of course, because people are not living it, they don't see that. You know, they see you, chugging along and making it work. But, and of course, that's with any type of parent. I mean, that's not just conducive to being a parent of a special needs child. That's where you have, just typical kids. But there's days where there's a lot of things that may not get done in the house because there was more pressing needs of your child with special needs or both of the kids. Special needs child and your typical child. So there's a lot of days where it's just like, you know what? We get what we can get done today. And when tomorrow comes, that's a whole nother day. And that's something I'm really trying to practice a lot more, is be in the moment, be in the day. I mean, I don't mind talking about things that may be coming up, especially if it's something we need to take action on. But if it's like, oh, this needs to be clean, this needs to be clean. If we don't get to it within that day, I don't beat myself up anymore. I used to be like, oh man, we didn't get this done. Our house is decent. And we kind of got a system to where what needs to get straightened up quickly can. And what didn't get to be straightened up, you probably can't see it anyway. But yeah. So moving along from that, another thing is some people I've come across think that they're just supposed to pity special needs parents. And I've mentioned this before in a video a long time ago. Please do not pity us. Please do not pity our kids. I never, and that we're supposed to be complaining too. I have come across that where, some people just think, oh, you could just complain. And it's like, and there are some parents where they complain about their situation and they want to be pitied, I mean, they probably don't think they want to be, but, it comes off that way. That is not us. We do not want to be pitied. Yes, I will talk about how difficult it is to have a special needs child. Yes, I will talk about how it saddens me about certain things, but I never complain. I am thankful for my son who was special needs. I'm thankful that he was my first child. I'm appreciative that I was given this gift. And as of late, because he's getting older, yes, it's more challenging. But I'm still thankful for him. I'm still thankful that he's here and in his own way, he's in his right mind and he knows what's going on. And having him allow me to be a part of the special needs community. And so I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that we now have little and he can grow up and be a better person and have deeper values and morals because of having a special needs brother. And that's how I see it. And so I'm appreciative, and so I don't complain, and I don't want to be pitied. So that's just basically that. I do want to say, because I only feel it's right to let you guys know that I'll be taking a break from YouTube. It's just things personally and within the family. We're just in a different season of life, and that needs more focus. I'll still be watching your guys' videos. I may comment here and there. I'll still be on Google Plus and checking out things, and I may post some stuff in Google Plus. But as far as doing videos, this will be my last video for a while. It's just making the time to do them. It's been really hard and been very challenging, and I see this as a hobby. And right now, this hobby isn't as fun as it was in the beginning, because it's just harder to try to get my thoughts together and get out what I want to do and stuff like that. So it's just best to take a break and focus on real life and put my energy and stuff towards there. So I just wanted to share these things with you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys whenever I come back. So I just want to thank everybody that has been supportive and watching my channel. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.